So tell us more about, like, we were talking about the fourth pillar, as far as how our brain works neurologically, the intake and behave.
Okay, so the gist is that your left brain is your slow intake part of your brain, where you think, you problem solve. It's your words and your letters part of the brain. This is where you learned how to read, because you practiced your alphabet, and then you made meaning out of the letters by learning how to read and that kind of thing. So that slow intake side of your brain receives your messages, your beliefs, and then actually those beliefs shift over into your right brain, which is your emotional side of your brain. And in that, you begin to behave what you believe instantaneously, within less than a second, based on all of the information that you have processed. You will behave out of your beliefs. So for instance, let's say that, okay, here's an example. My mother was afraid of snakes. My whole life I knew my mom's biggest fear was snakes. And if we ever had a garter snake in our yard or whatever, yeah, I can just remember her running and having that high-pitched fear voice. And so that modeling that I saw as a child made me a little bit more insecure around snakes. I certainly didn't have the level of fear that she did, but that behavior that came to my mom so instantaneously, the minute she saw a snake, she was actually kind of applied to me as well. So today, if I were to see a movement, or I can even see like a black extension cord coiled up or whatever, and my first thought is that a snake? Is that a snake? Oh no, it's a coil. Yeah, I'm not scared. So that's kind of the gist of how you intake information. Whether it's faulty beliefs or good beliefs, you set how you believe, and then you begin to behave out of your emotions with that, if that makes sense.
And so with the counseling practice that you do, it's about identifying some of those faulty beliefs and changing it, and then acting on new beliefs.
Yes,
I
absolutely. You
love
can be
it.
transformed by the renewing.
Being transformed. Yeah, because we hear that in the Bible, like, renew your mind, be transformed. But how does that happen? And that's why I really appreciate you, because you put it into practice and combine things together. And it's been really a fruitful ministry, a really fruitful thing that you've been able to do.
So if I can say one more quick thing about that, people
Yes.
who listen to podcasts or go to church and hear sermons, or have people say, you just need to do this differently. You just need to. All of that information is really coming in on the slow side of your brain. And if it doesn't actually make meaning for you and shift what you believe, you can go to church every week on Sundays and think, oh, that's a fantastic sermon, I'm going to be a better person, and then Monday through Saturday not have 1 ounce of transformation. That slow intake of hearing good things is not enough. It's really what you do with it to shift the information over into your emotional side that you receive the transformation. So
So how do you shift it? Other than, like, I know working with you and stuff, but when we hear stuff and we want to shift that into beliefs and behaviors, is there some things we can do to help that?
Yes. So I believe that there are 3 things. There are probably many more, but just, the top 3 and how we work in the office is, number 1, you can have an aha moment. You can have, have, like, for me, an aha moment kind of comes from the Bible, as I might read something and the Holy Spirit kind of knocks me in the head with it. I'll be like, oh my gosh, that is an amazing truth, and that little aha moment shifts me into an instant ability to see things differently. You don't just get them from the Bible. You can, number 2, through modeling, you can watch another person do something differently, and that be like, oh, that's how you do that. That little aha moment. Also with modeling, which we see in mothering an infant and child, that little baby is watching that mama do everything she does, and that instantly can be information directed directly going into your right brain, and then you behave in certain ways. So for instance, I watched my mom be a little bit scared of snakes, and so therefore I had that instant information, and I behaved out of it. But you can also watch your mom be a prayer warrior or minister to women who need help, and you have a heart for women from that. So that can help change your belief, because you watch people through modeling. And then the third thing is just simply practice, practice, practice. That rote idea of how we learned our ABCs. We put it to music, we said it over and over and over. So if you want a new truth to shift over into your right brain, say it over and over and over and over, and walk it out and put it to music, and let it make meaning. The practice of that can be very helpful.
So that's kind of like affirmations too, or visualizations. You can kind of do some of that through that process as well.